All right, let's talk about Cam Newton for a second, because Cam Newton just keeps going on and on and on and on and on about Brock Purdy and him, and Brock Purdy's not a game changer, and he's the 10th best player on the Niners. And anyway, Richard Sherman jumped in. He says, I love Cam and I have a ton of respect for him, but come on. In your second year in the NFL, you wouldn't have been the best player on this team, but no one would have put you down because of it. Judge him like you would judge yourself, because these categories would have excluded second-year Cam too.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just play the Cam thing. Let me share the screen here. We'll do this the right way. Because this guy he just doesn't know when to leave well enough alone. And it's like, dude, do we need to expose you? I guess we do. Here we go. This is Cam talking about Purdy.
That's not. I've never said that Brock Purdy was trash. What I did say is Brock Purdy is a game manager. That's not hate. That's just what I feel to be facts. But I still reserve the right to say this. To be labeled a game changer, Brock Purdy has to be the best player on the offensive side of the ball. And that's the case.
And who's the best player?
Christian McCaffrey. Man, look, I ain't recanting shit. And if you really want to just be honest, if you add in the defensive talent and you add in the offensive talent, Brock Purdy is the 10th best player on this team. Okay, cool. Did he have a great game? Yes. Is he been playing out of his mind? Yes. Is he a quarterback that's hot? Yes. But he's still the 10th best player on his team.
All right. And not the other part about that doesn't even – Christian McCaffrey is not the best player on the 49ers. If you really want to go best player, it is Trent Williams. Trent Williams is the best player on the 49ers. Trent Williams is the best player on the Niner offense. Christian McCaffrey, if you asked him, would tell you that Trent Williams is the best player. So he's not even right about that. I mean, he's just wrong on so many levels. But then Twitter gets to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just tweeted this out because it's an amazing tweet. I retweeted it. My 14-year-old's like, Dad, you got to check this one out. It's Outside the Lines. And it's out CYD the lines. Okay. So it's Outside the Lines. And this is Cam Newton with the game on the line. And then Brock Purdy with the game on the line. And we got to show these two little clips because this is unbelievable. This says it all about both of these guys. All right, so here we go. We'll show this again. Now, this is Cam.
Here he comes, number 58. Von Miller against Mike Rivers one more time. Cam Newton didn't feel it, didn't step up. The football just taken out of his hand. Cam Newton decides not to dive in there. And
he backed away from it. He jumped away instead of jumping into the pile.
Yep. I guess he made a decision. It wasn't worth to go in there and get it. Should have dove in. Had a chance.
Okay. So there you go. That's Cam's moment at Levi's, by the way, against the Broncos. That was Super Bowl 50. All right. So that's the Cam Newton portion of that. Okay, let's see. We'll close that. Now we'll open Brock Purdy and his deal. And this is Brock Purdy in the same kind of a moment. 15. Look at the difference. Look at him dive in there. Fumble, looks like against maybe East Carolina or somebody. He jumps headfirst right into the pile, and he's got to get it. So there you go. Oh, one guy made a business decision, and the other guy said, I need that football. I got to have that football. Get me that football. So there you go. There truly is the side-by-side comparison. Cam made a business decision on the fumble in his moment. Brock Purdy on a fumble dives headfirst into the pile, going for the football. So I don't know. I mean, I'll leave Cam alone because it's not about Cam at this point. But man, Cam really should just end it right there. I mean, Cam Newton's career completion percentage is 59%. Brock Purdy's is 68%. Cam Newton had won 3 playoff games in his career. Brock Purdy's already won 4 playoff games in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if I was Cam, I would, he considers himself on a much, much higher level than Purdy. And in reality, Cam was sub 500 in the playoffs, and Purdy's never lost a playoff game that he's won and that he started and finished. So I don't know. If I was Cam, I think I would end the comparisons there between the two of them. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. He just needs to zip his lip. He looks as silly as he dresses at this point. Like, I think he's jealous. I think he's jealous that Brock Purdy's having the success. Maybe he's jealous of all the talent that Brock Purdy has around him. I just think he's jealous of Brock Purdy for whatever reason. And also, this is the time of the year where, media is going to say what they got to say. It's the Super Bowl. He knows if he makes a spicy take about any team that's in the Super Bowl, Chiefs and Niners, it's a trending topic. He's got his podcast. He wants views, all eyes on him. Everybody's talking about him. It's how the media works. Every time you say something negative about a trending topic, it blows up. And of course, Brock Purdy's probably the biggest trending topic in NFL right now, him and Patrick Mahomes, right? And it's just a way for him to kind of drive his podcast and all that stuff. But it's crazy to me because I like what Richard Sherman says. He said, look, he's in the second year of his career. It's not fair. You got to use yourself and judge yourself at that point in your career. I loved what he said, but it's just ridiculous that he's saying that. And for him to say, he's the 10th best player, he can't be a game manager. Like, who's he to dictate that? Is he the president of opinions, of sports opinions? Is he the guy that tells us how we're supposed to look at a player and say, oh, he's not a game manager because he's number 10 on the team? Like, who's he to determine that? At the end of the day, Brock Purdy put the team on his back, right? He's the one that made those game-changing plays. A game changer doesn't mean you have to be the best player on your offense. He was a game changer on Sunday, was he not? By, elevating the team with his legs, the scramble ability. Like, that was an X factor that we didn't see out of Brock a lot, but he has this crazy athleticism, running like he was Steve Young. Now, we didn't see Lamar Jackson doing any of that on Sunday, but we saw Brock Purdy doing it, and he's done it time after time. In the playoffs, 2 game-winning drives by Brock Purdy, and he has played fantastic. I think Cam is jealous because he's trying to make his point that he's a game manager. He can't do anything, and he looks like a clown every single week. He says something and he opens his mouth. Brock Purdy is in my mind, he's a game changer. He's not a game manager. I don't know if you saw what Alex Smith said, on Sunday before the game. He goes,
yeah, it was awesome.
I'm the captain of the game management club, and he was a glorified game manager. Alex Smith, we all know that, but he goes, he's not allowed. This guy does things that nobody that a game manager can do. Again, the scramble ability, the running, throwing on the run to Kyle Juszczyk. I mean, beautiful catch by Kyle Juszczyk. And then the throw to Jennings, like in traffic on the run. Come on, man. This guy is just jealous that Brock Purdy is going to have a better career than him. If he wins a Super Bowl, he'll do something that Cam Newton has never done. And he's already won more games than half of these people that rip him. It's just crazy to me. And my last point is, this is like the greatest underdog story I think we've ever seen in the NFL. Maybe maybe Kurt Warner. That was a heck of a story. The guy was bagging groceries and he won MVPs and stuff.
Guys at Kroger's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
now he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. Brock Purdy's story should be like celebrated, and instead people are desecrating him. I just don't get it, Larry. I hate it.
No, I mean, it usually there's this, we build guys up to tear them down. We don't even build this guy up. We're just tearing him down. If Brock Purdy wins next Sunday, a week from Sunday, over Mahomes and the Chiefs, they are making a Disney movie about it. Bank on it. Get ready for it. Lean into it. It's coming. So, I mean, this is one of the great stories. I've been watching the NFL since the mid-1970s. The Brock Purdy story is easily one of the 5 or 6 greatest stories that I've ever come across since covering the NFL or since following the NFL. Forget covering the NFL. That somebody can be drafted last and, be sitting behind a $20 million Jimmy Garoppolo, behind the bonus baby draft choice in Trey Lance, and then potentially takes over an iconic franchise, goes undefeated his first year, gets knocked out of the playoffs, gets his elbow ripped off, rehabs, comes back, leads them to 12-5, goes back to the playoffs and maybe wins it all by beating Mahomes and the mighty Chiefs, the dynasty of the NFL, in the Super Bowl. I mean, this is an awesome story. BB says kudos to Sherman, Emmanuel Acho, and Pat McAfee for defending Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. Brock he's not asking for anybody to defend him at all. He's just out there doing his thing.